The Coin Lady channel is pleased to have you back. Dear everyone, to ease the process of sending money abroad, prominent institutions are starting to employ cryptocurrencies like Ripple as bridge currencies. Reason being, cryptos facilitate a more stable exchange rate between various currencies, which in turn makes the American exchange rate more stable. The transport layer, which is upheld by a node in the Ripple Odsal network, allows for the transmission of substantial sums of money between different areas, all thanks to cryptography. To solve these problems, Ripple has introduced its on-demand liquidity offering, which is a time and money-saving alternative. The CEO of Uphold made the astute observation that big companies often shell out a significant penny for those convoluted and time-consuming international money transfers. This, however, will have consequences in countries other than the USA. Reason being, Ripple's is not actively involved in the management of its Singaporean business, which is run separately. This is so because Ripple's has a Singaporean subsidiary. It's worth noting that Uphold doesn't limit its operations to US territory, rather, it will seek to utilize XRP in every corridor that crosses into US territory. The case that Ripple was involved in has been finalized. A number of lawsuits are currently targeting Ripple and its institutional-level transactions that use XRP as a bridge currency. The judge made a serious error of judgment about the transactions at hand, which entail the use of a separate currency. Also, you should know that not only are no expectations whatsoever, but there is absolutely zero chance of making a profit. Included in the film that delves into the cryptocurrency's potential for long-term success is XRP. Famous people all throughout the world use this cryptocurrency, and it's not only in the US. In addition, the movie has the chief executive officer of Uphold discussing prominent figures at an institutional level. Utility is an important factor that established asset classes should think about. The importance of usefulness as a criterion for evaluation trumps that of other considerations throughout time. A Ripple grant discussion took place in a social media post by an individual who is passionate about blockchain technology. The author repeatedly asks for a list of lucrative projects in this thread. VET and the XRP deal validator have determined this. Private companies, which typically administer these programs, typically do not reveal Bitcoin quantities unless they make a conscious decision to do so. In response to one project, Ripple, VET mentions that private companies handle most project management tasks in order to eventually gain profitability. Hard work and dedication are the mainstays of XRP Cafe. Yes, sweat equity is essential in operations. Even though the business is on the hook for all non-labor expenses, a blockchain advocate doesn't understand why grant or ambassador recipients wouldn't want their names shined. Of course, there's always the chance that they have ulterior motives. The film concludes by highlighting the potential and practicality of XRP in the future. A mature asset class's chief executive officer puts a premium on utility, which will win out in the end, in all corridors outside of the US. Despite certain chains having the lowest developer activity, XRP has maintained its position among the top 10 coins in terms of market capitalization, thanks to its 2,300 daily active users. Similar to the daily revenue of some brokers, XRP Cafe plans to manufacture money through multiple sources. That is why this specific circumstance is present. Or it's obvious from this that things are the way they are, even though blockchain proponents disagree and say the figures are insufficient for the XRP ecosystem. A lack of adoption of the XRP ledger for non-fungible coins has been acknowledged by proponents of blockchain technology. Because there are far fewer people using the XRP ledger marketplace compared to OpenCL, and because users spend far less money on non-fungible tokens on XRP ledger transactions than they do on OpenCL transactions when you factor in how much money they spend on OpenSea, this is the case. Statistically, this amounts to little. One problem is that there isn't enough supply to meet demand. There aren't enough NFT projects to go around. Since the situation is not improving, this is an inevitable result. Consequently, this is an issue that needs fixing. Presently, I am negotiating with the two sides around the need to get more reliable data on developer activity and the broad use of non-fungible tokens on the XRP ledger. The blockchain supporters' willingness to address these concerns and their intellectual honesty are commendable qualities that will be discussed. Now that we've covered all the bases, it's crystal clear that the XRP ledger needs non-fungible tokens and dance on a large scale. The next sentence will address the need for more reliable information about developers' activities. Questions about what has kept XRP in the top 10 coins by market cap dominate much of the conversation. Despite SAIC's initial attempts to sabotage it, XRP has shown to be an excellent payment option, on par with Bitcoin's value store. The outstanding payment performance of XRP is widely recognized, which is why it is considered that developer activity is the main factor influencing activity. Even though Tron had 16 full-time developers working on it at the end of last year, there is still talk about how it affects the market capitalization as a whole. In 2017, Tron's market capitalization ranked 13th. A large number of developers are worried about the trade-off between side chains and the lack of need to worry about the functionality of smart contracts. The blockchain backer was instrumental in both starting the conversation and encouraging a greater deal of activity among developers. The number of full-time developers working on XRP software is not entirely accurate, according to data on GitHub, so there are concerns about the trade-offs between not having to worry about side chains and having them. Additionally, developers may have to sacrifice in order to make room for the Hooks amendment, which will provide a restricted form of smart contract functionality. The figure is not completely accurate for this reason. More than 45 full-time developers are devoted to all things XRP related, according to an employee of Ripple who verified this by the year's end 2023. According to a statement that the worker released, this is what happened. The speaker's discussion of the market's impression of XRP and the XRP ledger begs the questions of if the figures are overstated, whether they are higher than 100 or 150, and whether there are other chains involved. According to them, it doesn't matter if the figures don't add up, because voters are actually spending actual money on this election. Although the speaker has been attempting to convince people for over a decade that XRP is a rational cryptocurrency, our concerns about the developer's actions regarding the non-fungible token condition on the XRP ledger remain unabated, and this aspect adds intrigue to their statement. Just because this is the case doesn't imply we shouldn't care about any of those things. 3 coins were among the first to be widely recognized as cryptocurrencies, and they have maintained a continuous position in the top 10 by market capitalization. The video concludes with that. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel and give me a like. Muchas gracias, depart.